What's up, y'all? This is Big Roth TV, and today I wanted to discuss this album here, this new Chris Brown album, Brown, and not necessarily review it, but I wanted to talk about Chris Brown in general. There's been some discourse about him this weekend, and I'm on one side of it because there's been talk about, oh man, should he make an album that is just 10 to 12 songs, make shorter albums instead of these 25 to 45 song albums, or should he just keep making all these big albums that have so many songs on them, and then you can create your own playlist based off of however many songs he has. You can just chop them up and make your own perfect playlist, the top 10 songs on there. You can do that. So there's been a lot of talk about that. I've been seeing that online. But the first thing I will say is I did listen to this Brown album, and it's good. It's a good album. But I still leave out of listening to a Chris Brown album wanting more. Like, I want more. And it's not because he's not talented. It's the opposite. I think Chris Brown is so talented that I hold him at a higher level. I hold him up there with the Ushers and those great R&B acts. And even on the realest level, I hold him as almost a modern day version of MJ. He's in that ballpark. He's heading up there. So for me, it's good. That's like you go to school, you turn in, you have a huge paper that's due, right? And you turn it in and you get a C. But your parents, your teachers, they know what you're really capable of. They know that you are better than a C and you can get a higher grade than that. They know, but you just kind of, you did what you needed to do. You got a good grade. You got a C. C's get degrees, but you could do better, you know? And that's what I feel like with Chris Brown. I feel like he's not giving us his best work. And I want the best work. What I want Chris Brown to do is get in the studio with the best producers, whoever today's Quincy Jones is. I want him to get in the studio with them. The Dream. Get in the studio with The Dream. Get in the studio with Tank, Jermaine Dupri. Get in the studio with those guys. Give us a solid 10 to 12 joints. Give us your Thriller. Give us your Purple Rain. Give us your Confessions. Give us your Lemonade. We need that. We need that from Chris Brown. Chris Brown, I've been a fan of his. He's about my age. We would have went to school together. He's only like a few years younger than me. Let me see. So yeah, Chris Brown is 4 years younger than me, right? So I would have been a senior. He would have been a freshman. We probably would have went to school together. But I've been a fan of his since he came out. I always thought the young dude was talented. I would say for me, his second album, I want to say that was Exclusive, and the album X. Those are my two favorite Chris Brown albums, right? But in each case, if you trim the fat just a little bit, you just trimmed a little bit of the fat. Classics, both of them. Now, for me, in the case of the X album, I don't think that there's necessarily bad songs on the album, but I think not all of them are as great as, say, a Fine China or They Don't Know or some of those joints on there. what was it? The Autumn Leaves. Oh man, great song, great song. So there's definitely some bangers on that album, but I feel like if he would have trimmed the fat on that one, because that's not that one's an album that's only in the teens. I want to say it's like maybe 17, 18 joints on there. It's not an album that has over 20, over 30 songs. So it would have just been trim a little bit of the fat on that album. Classic. It would be exactly what I want from him, and we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. But I am one of the people that say 27 songs is way too much. But there are some gems to be found in there. So I just feel like, man, the issue that I have listening to this new album is the fact that for the majority of the album, he talking about getting the cutty. Most of the album, he talking about getting the cutty and how many different ways he can get the cutty. You gonna walk through the door, cutty. He gonna lay you down, cutty. He gonna take you to the bedroom, cutty. Like, we get it. You trying to get the cutty. I get it. I get that. But every song, man, like 27 songs, he probably getting the cutty 22 of them. Like, come on, man. There's other things to discuss, especially at this level, man. Like late 30s, you heading into you heading into your 40s, man. Like, give us some different content, man. Like, let's talk about something else. Somebody help him get a little bit smoother. Like, still do it, but make it a little bit smoother, man. We don't want you to sound like the 1960s. We don't want you to sound like 1960s. But make a modern day version of a Confessions or something like that. It don't need to be Thriller. I mean, granted, Confessions is also like 18 songs. But I'm just feeling like we're not getting the best version of Chris Brown, man. I feel like we're not getting the best version of him. But my main thing is I went into this new album with that frame of mind already. Like, man, it's going to be 27 songs. That's going to be a lot of songs. I wish he would trim the fat. I went into it listening to it like that. So maybe I was a little skewed because I was already wanting the track list to be smaller. But at the same time, you see this cover? You see this pose that he's doing on this cover? You see this? When you do this pose, usually that's a classic. Luther, Mike, Lionel Richie, those guys, you do that pose, banger incoming. Classic is coming. Especially the main one is Thriller. The main one is Thriller in that pose. You do that, we're expecting legendary work. And for me, I don't think this pose for this artist became a classic. Quick side note, one of my other favorite albums of somebody doing this pose is Tech Nine with the Killer album. Great album. Great album. Speaking of long albums and somebody that needs to trim the fat, a lot of the times is Tech Nine. And he just did. Tech Nine's last, I have the cover art up here because Tech Nine is one of my favorites. But the 5816 Forest album, Tech Nine trimmed a little bit of the fat. He told some stories. He brought us more into his life. There's some skits on there, but it's a story. Trim the fat. And I feel like Tech Nine just released last year his greatest album, 5816 Forest. Tech Nine's best album, in my opinion. I love that album. I played that album to death. Like, I still listen to joints off of it. It was in my rotation from the moment it came out last year to now. Like, I'm just now kind of like, okay, you need to stop killing this song, like, or this album. But man, I wish Chris Brown would just, even if you don't want to do, even if you don't want to do 10 to 12, maybe give us one that's 13 to 15 range. Maybe 13 to 15. And just, we don't need 25. And I get today is a modern day era, and you can get on and make your own playlist and all that. Yeah, man, I get that. But can we just get one where you just go in, you record however many songs you want to record, right? But pick the best ones. Just pick the best songs. This one is a banger. This one is a banger. I want you to like sit in the studio with these other artists, these producers, and I want them to help. Like, okay, we like this one. This one would flow great with this song, and then we're gonna put this song here, and then we're gonna put these songs here. I know I'm nowhere. I can't compare myself musically to any of these artists. I get it. You're gonna watch me. You're like, who? I ain't never heard of your music. I get it. I get it. But when I was creating my music and I go in and I'm creating my albums, after I record everything and I'm listening back, I try to put these songs in an order that flow together. I'm not just like, I recorded a million songs. Here's all the songs in whatever order, however you get it, you like it. It's like, okay, I want this song to lead the album. This is going to be the song that lures people in. Okay, now that song here, let me put this song here because it kind of flows off of that one. All right, now let's get another one that kind of goes off of that, and so on and so forth until the end of the album. This is how I want to open it. This is how I want to close it. These are the ones that's going to go in between. I want Chris Brown to sit with these great producers, the Jermaine Dupri's, the Dream, Tank, whoever the top R&B cats are today. Sit with them and create amazing works of art, like just great songs. Because Chris Brown has no issue creating great songs. He has no issue doing that. He can make great songs all day, every day, in his sleep. That's easy work for him. But now what I want, Chris Brown, do that. Do what you do, but just trim the fat. That's all we asking. It's not like we don't want to hear what you got. Like we love your music. We love your body of work. We just want to hear one album. We want to hear your Thriller. We want to hear that. This is what we're expecting of you. We're expecting Thriller. We're expecting songs in the key of life from you, Chris Brown. We're wanting a modern day version of that. We want, man, this might be one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. That's what we want from Chris Brown. We don't want to hear, these songs, these like 5 songs out of the 27, man, these songs are great. We want to hear, I press play on the Chris Brown album, and oh my God, start to finish. We want to have that conversation 20 years from now, like we're talking about Thriller now. Like, oh man, 9 songs, 7 of them classics. But, so for me, with Thriller, every song on Thriller is a good song. At worst, every song on Thriller is a good song. Good. Which is what makes it a classic album. Every song, there's not really a song that you're like, this is a terrible song, I don't ever want to hear this. Now, there may be a couple songs on there that I don't feel like hearing that right now. I'm going to skip. The Girl Is Mine is number 1. And then Baby Be Mine is number 2. Those 2 songs, yeah, they're good songs. They're both good songs. But if I'm listening to Thriller and I'm like, man, I don't want to hear these 2 right now, I'll probably skip Baby Be Mine and The Doggone Girl Is Mine. I'm going to skip right over that. Everything else on there, classics, bangers, some of the greatest songs ever created in the history of music. I want Chris Brown to do that. I want to put a Chris Brown album on, and I want to be like, from start to finish, every single one of these songs are bangers. There is not a single bad song on this album. As it stands right now, there's not a Chris Brown album that I can say that about. That's all. That's all we want. And I feel like the discourse around his album and his music this weekend, since the new album just came out, I feel like that's what people are asking for. They're asking for just one project that we can be like, this is the greatest body of work from Chris Brown, and none of the songs on this album are whack. That's all we want. Can we make a playlist off of his new album and probably find 7 to 9 songs that are outstanding, and then just never listen to the rest of them again? I'm sure we could. Could we do that for 1111? Which originally, if I remember correctly, his last album, 1111, was supposed to only be 11 songs, which was the title. I thought that was the correlation with the title. It was only supposed to be 11 songs. And then somehow there became, 20 something songs on that album. So, like, I feel like he's aware of this too. And he kind of wants to do this too. But he's just not doing it. He just keeps going in. He's getting in his groove. And he's like, here, take all of it. Take all of it at once. So I'm going to end this here. But that's the discussion. This is what I expect of him. I only expect this because I hold him in such high regard. If he was just some regular singer that nobody really cared about, they'd be like, fine, give us 25 songs. We'll pick the best songs from these. But you are great. And we expect greatness from you. And we want that classic discussion that we can be like, yo, this album stands up with these great albums. This album by Chris Brown stands up against the Stevie Wonders and the Beyoncés and the R. Kellys and the Neos and all these guys. This is better than all these. This is in that discussion. And right now, he doesn't have one of those. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you think. What is your favorite Chris Brown album? Do you think that Chris Brown has a classic album and I'm tripping? Let me know in the comments, and I will holler at you all in the next video. Peace.